Hey everyone, Phil here from the REDEFINE team. We've got some great information for you in this video about the first of the three T's, title. And titles are one of those great things that we see a lot in the real world. And as I talked about in the first video, they're very importantly not leadership. They look a lot like leadership, but they're not. If you haven't checked out that intro video, go give it a look. In this video, we're going to talk about title, but before we jump into that, a couple quick things. Check out the bookshelf. It's all finished. I'm going to be throwing some fun stuff up there to keep you guys entertained while I ramble along. So I hope you enjoy some of the knickknacks that I find here in the area. Also, if you have not seen our website, please go there. All of our videos, all of our articles are on that site. And as I'll tell you at the end of the video, this stuff builds on each other. You got to have the basics to move on to the more advanced stuff. So go check our website out, sign up for emails, and definitely get involved in redefining leadership on any of our social media sites. We're always there to answer questions. The thing today is titles, and titles, the first of the three T's, is really important. Basically, in a simple sentence, titles is the mistake of thinking that a person who appears successful is good at leadership or is able to teach us how to be good at leadership. And this takes a lot of different forms. But a lot of times it's somebody who's a CEO or has a big job title, hence the label titles. But sometimes it looks like people telling us that they're very successful financially, particularly online, we see this a lot. But they're telling us that because of their success, they have something to offer us that they know about leadership. We do it to ourselves too. There are moments when we look at our own leadership practice and we think, oh, that went really well. I must have been good at leadership in that moment. And without really understanding what was going on, we might duplicate our actions in that situation in another situation where those same actions don't apply. That's titles, right? This idea that success means we're good at leadership or that someone else is good at leadership. So there are three reasons that a lot of times people will build a level of success but not actually be good at leadership itself. The first of the reasons is what we call the Peter principle, or a lot of related ideas. And that is the idea that honestly, a lot of people in the world, in the corporate world, government, private sector, whatever it might be, have gotten to levels of responsibility high up in an organization, but they're not really good at their jobs. They're not good leaders. And I mean, we all know people who have done these things. You know, we all can think of examples. I can certainly think of examples of people who appear successful if you just look at their job title, but actually they're not very good at their job. The second reason that this happens a lot is luck. Sometimes we're just in the right place at the right time. Somebody comes up with a great idea at a critical moment in a market's transition and they become very rich and famous, whereas 5 other people who had the exact same idea just weren't there at the right time. Luck is a big factor for us individually as well. We have to be careful to make sure that the reason we were successful in a certain situation as leaders was not just luck, but in fact something that we did. Because again, if we duplicate our actions in that situation and we were just lucky, we're going to be duplicating the wrong things down the road and then ruining our own success. The third reason that titles is such a misleading factor for success as a leader is that a lot of times people just plain lie. They make it look like they're very successful, again, particularly online. Just because you say you have a lot of money, A, doesn't mean you do, and B, doesn't mean that you understand anything about leadership. Those people who really get leadership are trying to teach everyone else because, like REDEFINE, we see the importance of having leaders right now. We're not doing it for the money. So those are the three reasons, and there's probably more out there, that the big fancy title, the appearance of success, does not mean necessarily that somebody is good at leading or good at teaching us how to be leaders ourselves. A lot of times we go out and we try to emulate somebody because they appear successful without knowing the full story, without knowing all the details of what made them successful, and we end up copying the wrong things. Well, when that happens, how are we going to learn? How are we going to move forward? If we believe that that person is successful because of X, Y, and Z, and we do X, Y, and Z, it doesn't work for us, what do we do now, right? That's where we really can suffer some damage in our leadership practice, because suddenly it's not just about that person and what they're doing, but it's about the fact that they were successful and they're somehow different from us. Well, maybe now we're thinking to ourselves, we aren't leaders. And that's not true. The leadership definition is across all styles, all situations, all different leaders. It's true of all of them. And it applies to us just as much as any of those other folks. So if we understand what's inside that definition of leadership, what's inside that real, true leadership practice, we can start to say, okay, here's where we need to focus our attention. And that's how we become effective. I hope that's a quick introduction to titles. If you have questions, throw them up on the YouTube comments below, or send me an email, info@thedefinitionofleadership.com. Most importantly, we've got 2 more T's to talk about, and I'm gonna do a big wrap up to try to really explain the context of these things and what it looks like in the real world. And then we're gonna start defining leadership, and that's the meat of what we at Redefine do. That's the really important stuff, where you can actually take an idea and turn it into actions in a way that's easy, efficient, and going to make you better at this thing we call leadership. So you don't wanna miss out on that. Go check out our website, thedefinitionofleadership.com, and sign up for our weekly emails, because we're putting this stuff out all the time. I promise I won't send you more than 1 a week, and you're gonna get some really good information. Again, it builds on each other, like stair steps. By the time you sit around and read, an email a week from me for 10 minutes, maybe watch the video, in a year, you're gonna be an entirely different leader. That's what we do for people. I love this. I'm really excited about doing all this online stuff. If you like the videos, let me know. If there's something I should be doing different, let me know. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to answer them. I'd love to talk about them. I'd love to hear what challenges you're facing so that I can help you, and more importantly, help everybody else learn from your own situation. Thanks as always. Really excited to hear from you, and we'll see you next week for the second T, which is traits. Traits is a lot of fun. It's one of these big myths about leadership. Leaders are born. It's not true. Leadership is learned, and that is really important.